He says, next time you think about it, I want to hear you're not going to scare me away.
Is there any sexier phrase in the English language than you're not going to scare me off?
I don't know. Sometimes it makes me more nervous, though, because I'm like, still shouldn't get comfortable. Because, like, if anybody's going to scare a partner away, it's going to be me. He thinks, she thinks, they think I can't scare him away.
It's going to be one half of this podcast.
Hold my fucking beer.
But to be clear, it's both halves of this podcast, but it's going to be at least one of us.
You're listening to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two best friends recap romance novels while loving a massage and looking adoringly at ice cream. Stack our shelves with the clinches out. Shout it from the rooftop, can you hear the sound? Yeah. Live your best life, love it out loud. Love it out loud. Hey HBs, I'm so glad you're back for part 2. This Friday on Patreon and our Apple Podcast subscription, we've got another part 2 coming for you. McReeve by Cressley Cole. It's the 14th Immortals After Dark book, and it has some stuff I've literally never seen before. Fantastic. You know how much we adore everyone over on Patreon, so let's give a big welcome to some shooting stars: Joanne, Melanie E., Talia, Joanne, Hud Parrish, and Melissa K. All right, when we left you yesterday, these two sexy coworkers had just gone to Pound Town and then survived a search warrant that had nothing to do with either of them. Now, they're navigating their workplace with the hockey team. Let's jump in.
Okay, so now they have an away game again.
Mm-hmm.
And when she gets on that plane, she gets called into the manager's office in the plane.
Okay.
And Patrick is there.
There is one thing before this that I thought was really fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So she's giving him a massage. This is after they've boned down. This is the day after. And
yes.
She puts professional boundaries in place because he comes in and starts being flirty, and she is like, so she literally says to him, I'm not a prude, and I don't think it's all that big of a deal to get carried away one night with a friend from work, but this here is my professional space.
Yep.
I wouldn't ever touch a client inappropriately. It would violate the trust that you give me when you climb onto my table, and I'm sorry if that sounds really nitpicky, but the distinction matters to me. And green flag number 99.
Yep.
He says, sorry, I understand, baby. I won't tease you anymore. And she says, thank you. And he says, well, then of course he's like, not here anyway. And then he's like, can I have Pearl Jam at least? I'll be a good boy, which was just very cute. But like, it's just so beautiful. And this is a consistent thing throughout the entire book. Like, he accepts her boundaries. Like, even if he is not happy about them, it's just so beautiful and consensual, and I just love it so much. And I just thought it was really important because, like,
it's really
that's her
supportive.
Yeah, but like this whole thing of like her setting the boundary of like, this is my professional, like, I touch bodies for a living.
Yes.
So like, this cannot be.
This isn't a sexy place.
Yeah. Well,
for anyone.
Not this office anyway.
No.
Oh, boy.
That's right. Sometimes temporary offices are.
It was just beautiful and wonderful. And another swoony moment is he tells her that she's priceless, and he hopes that she knows that. And it just made me swoon.
Yes. Yeah, because like, I think one of the reasons that this part hit me so hard as well is I'm pretty sure, unless I'm making it up, I'm pretty sure like right before he validates her boundary, his eyes go a little soft. And it's just like, it's one of those things where like he sees her, and even if the boundary encroaches on his enjoyment of whatever, he's like, no, you are more important than this like impulse that I have right now. And I don't know, by the end of the book, he's like looking at her with levels of devotion that are just stupid.
He looks at her the way that we sometimes look at pictures and make the joke, like somebody looking at food, and we're like, wow, I really wish somebody would look at me like that. He looks at her like that.
Yeah,
he looks at her like she is an untouched container of lactate ice cream or Dutch chocolate Bluebell.
That's right.
And it's beautiful. Okay.
It is gorgeous. So now,
yeah.
Okay, now they go on an away game. Oh, no.
Wait, one more thing.
Yes.
About boundaries. Because he walks her home that night to make sure she's okay.
Yes.
And she has also put the kibosh on
sex.
Any more sex. Because she's
doesn't want to. We really shouldn't do that anymore.
Shouldn't do this. So he walks her home and they do kiss at the door and she's into it. And he pulls away. And he's like, okay, I'm going to let you go to bed now. And she's like dazed. Which like valid
and understandable.
And he's like, you go to bed now, lock that door, I want to hear it lock, and I'm not leaving until I do. And so they do, and he walks away. Like, he stopped it because she put the boundary in place. And like, how many of us have been there where,
and
like, in the heat of the moment,
she was gonna climb him like a tree after that kiss,
he fucking pulled back.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
What a king. God. Wow.
I know. He's so wonderful. So now they're going to this away game. Yeah. And they have to go into the manager's office, or she gets called into the manager's office, and he's sitting there. And she's like, oh, fuck balls. Because she's under the impression that the owner, Nate Kattenberger, doesn't like his employees being in relationships with each other.
Which, like, for good reason. He is a possessive little dog peeing all over Becca anytime she's talking to another fucking man.
Yeah.
So, like, of course she's going to be like, Nate just doesn't like that.
They think it's a universal opinion. It's
like,
not.
What a
it's
fucking
just
joke. Look at Leo and Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Right?
But, like, hey, I get it. I have anxiety, too, Ari.
No, I hear
fine.
that.
Like, I would well, it's okay for everybody else, but obviously
But super not me.
Yeah.
Never me.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's like, oh my God, this is fucking terrible. But instead, he slides over an envelope to her, and inside is like a paparazzi picture of her and him kissing on her doorstep from the night before.
That's the creepiest fucking thing in the entire world.
Yes. And so Hugh, the manager, is like, he brought it to my attention, and like, we take these things very seriously, and I just want you to know that you have the full weight of the organization behind you. We're going to get our security teams on it. We're going to get you a panic button. We're like going to do all the things to keep you safe.
She doesn't have all of that yet.
Oh, okay.
But they do say that they're willing to do that. But like, they haven't gotten to that because she's still anxious. She never wanted the team to know about any of this.
Right.
Because she doesn't want it to affect anything. And so now she's even more anxious about it all. And so she doesn't want anything from them. Right. She hasn't come to them for help with anything. It hasn't escalated.
I thought it
to
was
a point.
Just a unilateral decision. They were like, no, this is what we do for our employees, period. The
well,
end.
yeah. So she gets it later. She gets it later, but she hasn't gotten it yet.
Well, they don't hand it to her, but that's the plan. That's the plan they tell her out loud. And she's like, I really don't think it's necessary. And he's like, no, it's all necessary. We're just, this is just what we're doing. And she doesn't say anything about him, though, right?
Not yet.
Because she's really fucking mad at him.
Yeah, because she thinks that he said, brought it to the team.
Right. Hugh said he brought it to my attention. And she's like, how dare he do that without my permission? Like, I told him how important it was.
So then, later that night, by the way, you don't know this, listener, unless you've read the first book in this series, but part of the way that Georgia and Leo got together is that Becca, as the manager, kept giving them adjoining hotel rooms. And guess what? Becca's working her magic again because Patrick and Ari have adjoining rooms, and he knocks.
Connecting rooms, y'all.
And she opens the door, and she's basically like, fuck you
Fucking
for bringing
pissed.
that to them. And then we find out that he didn't. So it was delivered to him in an unmarked envelope, and automatically the security team opens that first before they ever give it to the player, which is how it was brought to their attention.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, well, it looks like I am no longer mad at you, and I don't really know how to handle this. And he crowds her a little bit, and he's like, I would never have brought that to them without first talking to you. And then they're close enough that he can see her melt. And so then he does kiss her. And then he's like, you seem really tense. I think I should play massage therapist tonight, and you should get taken care of. And she's like, wait a second, is that a prelude to something else? And he goes, is that a deal breaker? And she's like, probably not.
She's like, depends. How skillful is your massage technique? And he says, for a guy who doesn't like to touch people, I'd say I'm pretty decent. And she says, what the hell am I going to do with you? And he says, I'm gonna let you find out. And then she does get
strips
naked
down
and
she
lays
gets
down
on that table.
massage table. And then he gives her a really fucking good massage.
Yeah.
Like, it's like definitely like heated, but it's a good massage.
It's a sensual massage. And like he tweaks a nipple a couple of times.
And like all of these things.
Or whatever.
And he keeps saying like,
it's still
how is this,
massage.
miss?
Oh yeah.
How is this,
How's the
miss?
pressure? Do you have any pain?
Do you like he keeps quoting her from when she massages him, and he keeps calling her miss, and that's very important because of another quote from later that will share shortly.
Would like that.
And so he like at one point like spreads her legs, and he's like massaging her ass and letting his thumbs like play along her folds. And she's wet and it's
obviously
hot. And then she hears his pants unzip and a condom open.
Yes.
And then he keeps massaging her, and then he slowly drags her to the end of the table.
By the towel that's underneath her. He drags the towel she's laying on.
And then he leans over her. Well, no. So then he just
tell listener everything.
He
just
picks up her
her
hips and penetrates her. And then he leans forward, and with his mouth hovering over her ear, he says, I'm going to fuck you, miss. Nice and deep.
Oh my God.
And she's like, yes. And he's like this. And then he gives his hips a slow roll, and then he does go to pat down. And
it is hot massage table sex, everyone. And like
Sarina Bowen.
Ma'am.
Sarina Bowen, I've never been disappointed in a book that Sarina Bowen has written. You know what I mean? Like, every sex scene that I've ever written.
Wow.
I wish.
Yeah.
Wow. And then they stop having sex and they curl up in bed together, and she basically lays down the line. She's like, we can't date.
We're not together.
Yeah.
He's like, but we could be. She's like, no, we can't.
We work
My
together.
life is a mess.
I need to get my shit together. And then he tells her that he really likes her, and he's never told that to somebody before.
He says, guess how many times I've told a woman that I like her? And she says, I don't know. How many? He's like, one. And she goes, one other time? And he goes, no. This time.
One including this time. And then they fall asleep in each other's arms?
Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful. And then we're just going to scoot along.
We got to motor a bit.
Well, yeah, but I will say that because this comes up.
Yes.
He does ask his hockey buds.
the day after breakfast is one of the cutest things that's ever happened.
Because he's trying to get advice on how to woo her, because he's never wooed a lady before.
He looks at the guy from the first book, and who he calls college boy, and he's like, hey, how do you get a girl to date you if she doesn't want to date you? And then he makes everybody write down a suggestion on... Yes.
There's something really important for me to share later, so I have to give some context to this real quick. O'Doul is the team captain.
Yes.
By the way, I don't know if we've said that, but he gives out something called parking tickets when people do something. And the parking tickets are like if they do something douchey or just kind of really at just O'Doul's whim. And he's like, okay.
Punishment.
Yeah, but it's also at a whim.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because it's
O'Doul's etiquette.
Yeah. He says, all right, Jimbo, which is their 19-year-old assistant, and he's adorable.
He's their roadie.
Uh-huh. Oh. He says to everybody, he says, okay, Jimbo, pass out parking tickets to everybody, and everybody writes down a suggestion. If it sucks, you owe $20 to the kitty. And the kitty, at the end of the year, they donate to some kind of charity of
women's
some sort.
Shelter, usually.
Last year, they raised over $10,000. And so he gets a bunch of advice from people, and like half of them, he's like, what the fuck? This is
one
terrible.
One of them is like edible underwear.
Yeah. So like, another one, like, and then some are like, get her favorite treat from a bakery. Yeah. Like, I'll like buy her shoes. And it's so cute because everybody's like chiming in and like commenting on things. And it's just so funny. And he realizes like, oh my God, okay.
And at the very end, the last suggestion is get her birthstone earrings. They're not only pretty, but they also show her that you've been paying attention. And he's like, hey, there's no name on this. Whose is this one? And Jimbo's like, me. And then he's like, aren't you like 19? And he's like, yes. And then somebody in the crowd just yells, Jimbo for president. It was one of my favorite things. These goofballs. These lovable goofballs.
Them. They're so my cute. God. Oh, God.
Pro Savings Days are on at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get an additional 5% off when you buy 5 or more select GE, Whirlpool, and Electrolux kitchen or laundry major appliances. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 123. Discount valid to My Lowe's Pro Rewards members only. Exclusions and other restrictions apply. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for details. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
So then Hugh does give Ari the panic button and explains what happens if she hits it. And it notifies Becca, the police. It also goes to Patrick if she's okay with that. It notifies the entire Bruiser's security team.
Yep.
Like, it's a whole thing.
And Patrick specifically, like, requested to be notified because he lives so close to her. That, like, he thinks he could run over there.
Reason.
That's the reason he gave you. And I'm sticking to the party line.
Oh, God. But one of the suggestions given to him is get her a book, which, like, great suggestion.
Great suggestion.
And so he, for his next massage therapy appointment, gets all the massage and all of those things, and then he leaves, and when she picks up the pillow, there's a book called Yoga Cats underneath the pillow.
Yoga Cats!
And there's a bunch of cats in yoga positions. And she loves it!
Yes! Obviously. And she's like, oh my gosh, that was so thoughtful of him. I can't believe that.
And then
so now what happens?
So she asks him to help her home after work again. And they just end up going back to his house instead. And she gives him a massage because he took a really bad knock.
Yeah.
And then it's just super cute. They end up not having sex that night, but they wake up the next morning. And they're a little horny town, and then they have some between the thigh action, which is always a plus. And then they have tantric sex.
Yeah, she's like, if we're doing this, we're doing it my way. And he's like, show me.
And it was hot. And then it was so cute because she paused. They're both horny as fuck now. And she says to him, you're very patient with me, but I don't want to be patient anymore. And he says, enough
on your
of
back,
your way,
sweetheart.
With a grin.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Sorry.
And she says yes. And he says, on your back, girly. And then he does take her to pound down.
Well, and it was the best because this is from her perspective. And right before she says, like, you've been patient, but I don't want to be patient anymore. In her inner monologue, it's like, this was a challenge for him at first. But, like, now.
Yeah, it's a challenge for me.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good.
After sex, he does ask her to dinner again. She says no.
Yeah.
And then he is like, wait, she keeps talking about how much she doesn't like to see me fight and hurting. And so he asks her that. And she says,
yeah, he says, do you not want to go to dinner with me because I get knocked around a lot?
And she says that she'll go to dinner with him on one condition. And the condition is to tell her why he doesn't like to be touched. And he's like, it's not a pretty story. And she says, it's your call. So he does not tell her at this point.
And so she goes to shower and she showers alone.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't follow her.
Just a stab in the heart.
So then she has like a good day, but he gets approached by Nate. And Nate is like, look at these trend boys I have on this chart. What does it show you? And the answer is that hockey teams win when more players are healthy than not healthy. And so he's like,
that tracks.
Yeah, that makes fucking sense. So he's like, what we need you to do is stay healthy. And the best way for you to do that is to give up some of your fights. And so there's a new kid
Start
who
teaching Crikey.
Yeah, Crikey wants to fight. And he's like, but Crikey's like young and he could get the ball sack kicked out of him. And Nate's like, well, that's why you train him up and you do whatever. And then finally he's like, okay, fine.
And Nate brings out, he's like, in 15 years, fighting is going to be gone from the NHL. The Canadian, this just made me laugh.
It is so cute.
His convincing. The Canadian juniors teams are already leaning away from it. Concussion research will condemn it. If you step back now, it's not a failure. You're just trendy. This is Brooklyn. Be a hipster. More yoga. Fewer stitches.
Yeah. It's so cute.
Just so funny.
So he, that afternoon, starts training Crikey. And she needs to find the next guy on her list.
Important thing.
Yeah.
Before that, she gets pulled into the police station, and it turns out there's a canceled check for $9,000 with her name on it.
We never find out what that is, actually.
I'm pretty sure it was running away money. I think he was trying to pull money so that he could get the fuck out of town, because we don't know what's going on with Dude Bro at this point.
Out of a bank account she's never seen before?
I think that he was hiding money, and he was trying to get that out to go on the lam. Because at this point, he's running away. We haven't heard from him or seen him in for a while.
Yeah.
And we find out later that he is on the run from some people that he fucked over. And
well, yeah, because she's gotten a restraining order on him, but the process server can't find him. So he hasn't been served yet. Yeah, so I guess he took out a bank account in her name, but this puts her in it. Yeah, but this puts her like in deep shit because now her name and social security number are involved in his criminal case. And she has to now prove that she didn't open that bank account.
Yeah.
So it's a whole fucked up deal. She has to get a lawyer for more hours. She's stressed about that, thinking about like, maybe I'll take up some, private massage times to try and make up the income. But then she has to go find that guy. Yeah. And she overhears him telling Crikey how he learned to fight. And this isn't in front of like the entire team. The whole team's like, yeah, get him, because they're watching the training. And so he tells Crikey and the entire room, like, I was 10 and the older kids who lived at my group home wouldn't stop stealing from me and beating the shit out of me. And I wanted to keep like some of my food. So he started hanging out right outside of the windows of a boxing gym close to where the group home was. And this 10-year-old started like shadow boxing on the sidewalk, trying to like pick up tips from the outside. And so eventually the owner invited him in, and all these big guys thought it was hilarious. And they were like, oh yeah, when's your next fight? What are you training for? He was like, well,
to eat
every day at breakfast and every day at dinner, but the big kids can't steal my food at school because that's at school, but also on the weekends. And they're like, oh, fuck. So they start training him, and like they just put little tiny training equipment on him. And like a lot of times he's in the ring, but other times
they teach him to fight.
Yeah, that's really cute.
So then we zippy zap.
No, there's more to that story that was important to me.
We don't learn about it.
Oh.
We don't know. That's not in this point. We actually learned less than you already shared.
No, you're totally right. Sorry.
So later that night, we zippy zap. She gets a call from an unknown number, and it's Vince. And he's telling her, leave the house for 15 minutes, leave the door unlocked. I have to come in and get something that I left. It's really important. I fucking need it. And she's like, dude, where the fuck are you? I need you to sign a restraining order. And he's like, leave it on the table and I'll fucking sign it. I just need this thing. And she's like,
if you don't,
fuck
your
that.
boyfriend's going to get it.
And she says, fuck that. Hangs up and then leaves. She's going to Becca's house or George's house. It doesn't really matter, because what ends up happening is all three of them, all of the guys are in George's apartment, and all three of them go freaking steal Patrick's apartment because they all live in the same building. And they're like, we need your apartment. Get out. And he's like, whoa, I'm not leaving unless you give me a margarita too. So they make margaritas. He sits down, gets the gist of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this quote just made me laugh because he's like, who says I'm leaving? You can stay, Becca offered, but everyone who stays is having his or her toenails painted. That's not really my scene. Exactly. And then he says, you'd better have 4 glasses out over there, though. I'm not leaving until someone gives me a margarita.
Uh-huh.
Fair enough. I guess you can have a drink since we invaded your home and everything. She guesses. He muttered.
He muttered.
So then he does go hang out with them, though, after he gets the scoop on what's been going on.
Yeah.
And when he gets back,
they're Hammertown. Hammertown.
Because, and this is such a fucking mood, they ran out of margarita mix, so they just started taking shots of tequila.
Oh my God.
Who of us that drinks occasionally has not been there? You know, like.
Yep.
So he gets back. Georgia and Becca make their way back down the hallway to Georgia's house or apartment. And then he takes care of her and puts her to bed. And this made me laugh so hard.
Yeah. Reaching for
because
a zipper.
He says, well, not that part. He says, please don't fall down and hit your head. And she says, you do sometimes and they pay you for it. And he's like, fuh. She's out arguing me even when she's drunk.
Women.
Like, yeah, it's very cute. And this is when we get the full story.
Yeah.
Fuck. And it's like we're, go for it, share.
He tells her that the
trigger warning.
Yeah, trigger warning for parental homicide. He tells her the reason he was in the group home in the first place was because he watched his dad shoot his mom, and then his dad went to prison for it. So he ended up in the system, but like a lot of foster families, you know, weren't as stable as they needed to be. So he ended up in this group home. He got in that situation. He ends up at the boxing gym. And then after he's been there for a bit, the owner hired him, like, you know, he'd throw him a couple
of
bucks
because he's 14. He's underage.
Yeah, like cleaning up or, you know, putting stuff away or whatever. And then finally, when he's around 14, he tells the guys that he really wants to try hockey, but he can't because he doesn't have any skates. And then the next day, they tried to convince him that, like, it was just one of their, like, leftover hockey skates.
Used pair of skates.
And he's like, but they were brand new. And they were also child size, everyone.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. And, God, fuck, dude. It made me so happy and so sad. You know? Like, well, and that's how she feels, too.
Like, straight up, whenever I read about, like, scenes like that.
Yeah.
All I can think about, and this is just so sad, but, like, all I can think about is all of the kids who don't get that.
Who don't find some sort of
support.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So then Ari does finally go to the team because she's like, all right, I need a private investigator because I need somebody to find this bitch. Fuck this noise.
Whatever he needs is very scary. Could be anything that he has left in my apartment.
Because we have no idea. Then we zippy zap to Ari and O'Doul having a conversation because they're in adjoining rooms again where she tells him, I don't need a boyfriend right now. I'm a mess. Like, my life is a mess. I need a friend.
Because he gets her a birthstone necklace pendant because he thinks it'll look good on the silver chain she always wears. It's exactly her style. It's very, like, earthy instead of glitzy. And that was one of my... Man, that's when I figured out that Michael is an impeccable gift giver. Because we went to a farmer's market, and there was, like, a particular necklace I had been looking at, and it was just, like, wonderful. But he wanted to get me something later, and they didn't have that, like, on their online store or whatever. So he got something at the same store, and it was just like...
Perfect.
They were the perfect pair of earrings. They were perfect. And it was that exact same, like, they're earthy and a little funky and, like, cool and very my style. It was great.
So she does tell him basically, I don't need a boyfriend right now. I need a friend. And he tells her that he cares about her too much to say no. And then I do have another quote.
Please.
Because it just is beautiful. And she says, I am so sorry. And he says, don't be sorry. I'm a big boy, but can you do me a favor? And she says, what? And he says, keep the pendant unless you don't like it. And she says, I love it.
I love it.
And he says, then wear it sometimes and remember that your birthday is coming because by the time August rolls around, I'm betting a whole lot of the bullshit in your life will be finished. You'll be out to dinner with your girlfriends and thinking, hell, that you're sucked, but things are looking up.
Yeah.
And I just, all of her boundaries, like, because after this, he wants nothing more than to kiss her.
But he won't.
But he won't. And he just kisses her forehead and like, gives her a hug and goes back to his room.
Yeah. And in his inner monologue, he keeps on saying things like, even though she didn't want everything he wanted to give her, he couldn't say no to being her friend. And, you know, that was going to be... And to her, he keeps on saying...
He didn't go bitch to his friends about getting friend zoned, ultimately.
No.
Which is like such a low fucking bar. But like, it's also such a high fucking bar.
Yeah. But also to her, he keeps on saying things like, I'll take you in any form I can get you. And he really means that. And then, so then they go down to dinner.
Like, I could see some people reading this book and having an issue with the fact that he does keep essentially pursuing her because he thinks that they're going to be really good together, right? Like he doesn't stop, but he chills out a little bit. But he like, so for example, right after this, he does go have a conversation with the boys. And now they figured out that it's her because of the necklace.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's a birthstone? Interesting that he gave that to you. And then they're like, hey, what's going on?
This is the coffee.
This is the coffee, yes.
Conversation.
He goes, well, she just told me in no uncertain terms, like it's not happening.
Are you
I'm
ready? I have the quote for you.
I am ready.
Of that conversation. Because Leo brings up the good point of women make different decisions differently.
Yeah.
Like, so it's relax, like, be chill. And O'Doul's like, so he's like, oh, Leo's example is, how do you buy a coffee maker? And O'Doul's like, I point to one that looks good, then I just buy it. He's like, exactly. And he's like, so what does that have to do with Ari? Maybe she already found the model she wants, but she has to walk out of the store one time just to be sure she knows her own mind. O'Doul grunted. I don't know. If I walk in to buy a coffee maker, I'm leaving with a coffee maker. And he's like, that's my point. You're leaving with a coffee maker because you have a dick. And then Castro says, wait, who left his dick in the coffee maker? And O'Doul says, check, please.
It's the best. It's the best.
And then like it is very clear that that's what's happening. Like Ari is questioning herself, right? She doesn't question him. This earlier, she doesn't trust her own judgment.
Yes,
is the biggest issue here because she's like talking to the girls about it, and she's like, I just like I like him, but I can't. And then later, O'Doul asks Ari during one of the massages, he's like, so like, how would you buy a coffee maker? And she's like, I'd buy anyone that worked. And like, all it does is make pour water through grinds. Like, what the fuck?
Also, that's not true, but okay, Ari.
But then, before the cute thing, O'Doul does get called into Hughes's office.
Yep.
Because a reporter is saying that she has a picture of O'Doul doing a drug deal in a nightclub. And before he says anything, he says, I need to talk to my agent.
And Hughes is like, are you shitting me right now? Like, I'm trying to help you. But he can't trust him because ultimately Hughes' responsibility is to the team and to Nate. And he's been hung out to dry way too many times by authority figures to trust that bullshit. And so he's like, I got to go talk to my agent. He goes home. He turns off his cat phone. He puts it in the bathroom.
Fair. The more you learn about the cat phones, like the more you're like, I can't believe he did not put that thing in a fucking metal box and temporarily drop it into the fucking Hudson.
No, really. Like Nate is Big Brother. all ways. Like the cat phone is always listening. So he turns it off, takes him to the bathroom, turns on the water, and then like leaves the room, goes to the other side of his Grand Central Station apartment to use the landline and talk to his agent. And the agent is like, working through it with him. And he says, my gut tells me that Hughes wants to help me. And the agent's like, okay, but you know that the only person you can trust for absolutely sure is me, because our interests are perfectly aligned. I don't make money if you don't make money. But he's also like, can you not make drug deals in clubs?
In nightclubs?
If you need something, you tell me and I find somebody to get it to you. And he's like, holy God, nope, this is not where I want this to go. Like, I don't want to be a criminal anymore. It was the one time. And the agent is like, one time? You have the worst luck.
Yeah. So and anyway, then it's super awky-awk the next day because it's during yoga. The management is not there like they usually are. The fucking whole team is fucking dead silent. And we find out it's because
everybody's seen the article.
There's an article out there about how O'Doul is addicted to pills.
And Vince texts her and he's like, your boyfriend got it. And if you don't let me into your apartment, I've got video and I can make it look like the whole team is using. So like, get your shit togetger.
So then, and we're just going to motor a little bit because like we're in a fucking speed run all the way to the very end at this point. Because so she goes to O'Doul and confronts him, or she doesn't confront him. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that you got pulled into this. I know it's because Vince is a fucking lunatic and he's trying to
vendetta.
And all those things. And O'Doul basically is like, I am the man in that picture.
I can't talk about this. And she's like, wait, you'd only not be able to talk about it if you did it. And he's very silent. And she's like,
and he's like,
oh
he's
my
like,
God.
all I can tell you is that I'm the one in that picture.
Yeah.
I can't say anything more than that.
And then she immediately spirals and she's like, oh my God, the only reason you've been hanging out with me is to make sure that Vince wasn't, oh no, it's because you were entangled with Vince already. And he's like,
you've known who he was from that very first fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole thing. And he's really upset because he's like, well, it's nice to know that's what you think of me.
Yeah, that's all the faith you have in me.
It's really sad. And then they just kind of fuck off.
Yeah.
And then, guess what? Shit's about to hit the fan for real. Ari gets home. Vince calls her. He says, I have a video. Sends her the video. She watches the video and it is very obvious. Like, you cannot necessarily tell what's in that bag, but like, he's guilty. And like, it would be so easy to spin that in the media. And like, he is guilty. So
and
like,
he is.
Yeah. So then Vince is like, I need to get in the house because I have a gun hiding in there and I need that gun. And she's like, what the fuck? But
she says, what did you do? And he says, nothing. And I want to make sure it stays that way. So she's like, okay.
She lets him in. He's looking rough.
Yeah.
And they go upstairs, move the bed, grab the gun. And then she hears Patrick holler from outside, man on, or whatever he says. And then she hears footsteps coming up the stairs. She goes and hides in the bathroom.
Without her panic button. God damn it.
Yeah. And she's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. And she tries to climb through the bathroom window, but it's stuck. And then it makes a loud noise. She sees Patrick coming up the fire escape.
Now the person
is in
heard
there, the window.
Yeah. And he's like, who's in there? And he cocks his gun. He's trying to rattle the door. And she's like, oh my God. Patrick finally gets the window up and pulls her out of it. She goes diving toward the fire escape. And he gets her down to the ground, and then he sees a restaurant across the street, and he's like, go, run.
So they both run over there.
And she hears a gunshot in her apartment.
And
a scream. And she recognizes the scream, but she can't even think about it.
So they get there, call 911. Becca shows up to take care of Ari and lets her know that Vince got shot in the chest and he's dead.
Holy God.
Yeah.
So she
and then
ends
there was
up
a
back
quote,
at
like, I
his-
won't read the whole thing, but there's a quote about, like, death and how shocking it is. And, like, you just wake up.
Was
and
it
you
Vince?
have no idea.
Vince woke up this morning.
Yeah. And, like, specifically, like, as somebody who survived somebody like that as well, it's like, you just don't, like, anything can happen, and it's horrifying. And then she just holds Becca and cries, which, like, fair.
Yeah.
So she ends up taking
back at
solace
his house.
at his loft, and he takes care of her. He runs her a bath. He puts her to bed.
Gets her
and
soup.
Then she confesses to him that she bought him a coffee maker because he had asked if they were easy to shop for. So she got him the same one she has. And he's just like,
that is the sweetest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Just staring down at her. And he's like, fucking Leo, like, this is not.
Fuck, sweetheart. This is the best.
Oh. And then zippy zap.
Yeah.
Ari and Georgia are chatting about Ari and Patrick and all of these things. And Georgia points out, you're not doing what you tell all of us to do.
In yoga.
You are judging yourself right now. You are judging your relationship with Patrick, and you are judging yourself and your past relationship with Vince. And you always tell us to listen to the emotional response.
With curiosity, not judgment.
Mm-hmm. And then it was super cute, though, because I feel this so hard. Georgia tells her, you kill me because you're flawed just like the rest of us. I used to be intimidated by you and all your yoga wisdom. Now I know you're just as nuts as I am.
Ugh.
And, like, I feel that so hard because there are so many people that I'm intimidated by. And then, like,
when you peek behind the curtain.
You're a great fucking example.
That blows my mind.
Like,
I'm so open about what a mess I am.
Like, back before you and I became friends, you were still put together, pod host, all that. And then you and I started becoming friends, and you're still a fucking incredible person, and I'm constantly amazed by you. But also, I'm like, oh.
But you see all the shit.
You're also a human.
Everybody's
you're
got
also
shit.
Human.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And, like, I've been that person where people are like, oh, you have shit. And I'm like, boy, let me count the ways.
Welcome behind
boy,
the
howdy.
curtain. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
but I can't believe that there's a curtain at all. I'm always startled when I find out there's a curtain.
That's
right?
how I feel.
Like, what are you talking about?
Open.
I am pretty open about the fact that I am a hot mess.
Hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
Hot mess.
But
capable,
anyway.
but a hot mess.
Oh yeah,
Charming, but a hot mess.
Hot mess. So we didn't talk about this earlier in the book, but there was a murder in the nightclub. Turns out that's what the gun was. It was Vince hiding it from these crime brothers.
Insurance.
Don't ask me to pronounce that name.
Don't fuck with me or I'll turn you in kind of situation.
And so that's why he needed the gun as leverage and all of these things. And then that's just kind of the end of that whole thing.
Yeah, Vince. So
it's done.
The organization does get her like a cleanup crew to make sure that when she goes back to her house, like her window is fixed. There's no blood anywhere, which was really thoughtful. Like my old boss would not have done that for me. And her mom and her great uncle come up to stay with her for a bit.
Who own the townhouse she lives in.
Yeah, and he's going to deed it over to her.
Yeah.
Which is really sweet. Meanwhile, Patrick has to like go on a couple of games and he misses her, something fierce.
Mm-hmm. And while they're not really interacting, he does pass the drug test because they do drug test him. Because he only
and he does it voluntarily.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's not in his fucking system anymore.
No, it was ages ago.
Yeah. Like, he really is the unluckiest.
Truly.
Like, the one fucking time he does a drug deal.
Well, the one time he does meth. Like, we should...
Yes, that's true. But, like, that's what he got caught doing is the drug deal. He never got caught doing the drugs.
Right.
So he does pass the drug test, and then he has a good conversation. And this is one of those moments where, like, it just makes me smile that Nate actually, like... This is such a good example of Nate actually giving a fuck about his people. Is there's not only the doctor that has to tell the team, like, heads everything. There's also, like, a fucking doctor on staff.
A psychiatrist.
It is strictly patient-client confidentiality.
Yep.
He doesn't have to tell shit to anybody. And they have this whole hypothetical conversation, like, hypothetically, if we had a blah, blah, blah. And it was just really beautiful. And then he goes and...
He gets his whole team together. And he's like...
And the fucking coach is like, what are you doing with this secret meeting? What the fuck are you doing, O'Doul? And he's like... Hello?
Am I your captain still? If I am, then I need this time to apologize to the guys. And if I'm not, that's fine. But like, if you don't trust me with this, then I shouldn't be your captain. Because that's the kind of relationship we should have. And the coach is like, all right, we'll make it quick because we've got a game to win. He's like, yes, sir. And he goes in and he's like, hey, guys, officially, that shit didn't happen. But unofficially, I need everybody to know that you've got a lot more support. And if you feel like the job is too much with you, if you feel like the job is too much for you in any kind of way, don't be like me and do the dumb thing. Let me help you do the smart thing. Because I'm so sorry I made y'all look bad. I'm so sorry I made the team look bad. I didn't want any of this. And they're all like, you're still our captain. And
then they just go kick the soccer ball around and everything's fine.
Yeah.
It was just really beautiful. And O'Doul throws a party in his apartment
That's
night.
Right.
And invites the whole fucking team. And it's their first time. And it's just beautiful. It shows that he's letting them in and just embracing
it. Like, one of my favorite things is like, he's getting stuff together and he says, this is the first time that he's heard like laughter and smack talk echo off of the exposed bricks of his apartment. And then he says, like, I realized with Ari that I need more. I want more. I want more connection. She did it without even trying. She did it without me really even noticing. But I want more in my life. And one of those things is like opening up to the team a lot more. It's really, really gorgeous. It's, And then she's back at the stadium and he stops her at one point and he's like, hey, how do you feel about linguine with clam sauce? And she's like,
that was one of the recommendations from the boys was
cook for her.
Cook for her.
And it's the one dish he makes. And she goes, well, I'm pretty allergic to shellfish, so no. And he's like, oh, of course you are. And he goes, how do you feel about ice skating? And she goes, well, I haven't done it since I was in middle school.
Pause. I have a quote.
Yes.
And he says, I missed you, Ari. The only reason I spend time with you is because you're important to me.
Yeah.
You're everything that I want and everything I need. You already have my heart and I don't want it back.
I don't want it back.
And then they go and like they go skate together. And it turns out
she's got moves.
Yeah.
She can like go on one leg and stuff.
She used to be a little professional, or not professional, but like a competitive figure skater.
Yeah.
And,
until she didn't want to compete
like
anymore.
Competition.
And then so he's over there bent over his knees laughing. And she's like, wait, it wasn't that bad. And yes, please read it.
He says to her, all I do is try to impress you, and it's impossible because you're the most impressive person I ever met. I am so screwed.
It's the best.
And then Q, what prompts book 4 with Nate and Becca, because Becca steps out on the ice,
gets concussed.
And this was very reminiscent.
Yep, she does a Sabrina.
Not have a Nate. I didn't have.
But you had a Brianna.
I did have a Brianna.
Yeah.
To come take care of me. And that's even better.
Mm-hmm.
But, like...
who needs a hot billionaire? You know what I mean? Not this guy.
To be clear, hot billionaire listener.
Do you have a tax deductible ass?
To be clear. But, any hoodles... Then they end up, after skating, they go grocery shopping so that they can go have a cooking date. And guess what? Cooking gets put on pause so that they can do the down and dirty.
He actually pulls through on the Bryce Quinlan Hunt Athalar kitchen scene. It's not just smelling arousal.
He goes
down on her right on that
really,
counter.
It's more going up. because she's standing. It's great.
He's
fantastic. And then they go into the bedroom and he pulls out a yoga term on her. And now he's playing yogi.
He says, I want you in balasana, which is child's pose.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, I'm sorry, are you speaking Sanskrit? And he's like, yeah, it's the only one I know, though. Because every time you show it to us, I really want to fuck you.
And then he gets up to put on a condom and he like looks at her and he's like,
stay right
she's
there.
Looking over there and he's like, you see anything you like? And she's like, a yogi doesn't fish for compliments. And he says, never said I was any good at yoga. It's so cute.
It's so cute. And then they do sex in child's pose.
Yeah, it's hot. It's real hot.
I feel like that only works with the dramatic size difference between them, though. Don't you think? I don't know. I'm going to have to do some experimentation. But I feel like as a bigger, taller lady with an ass on her, I don't know that this would logistically work for me. We're gonna figure it out. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll report back.
Yeah.
So
or not.
Afterwards, we'll report back to each other.
To each other.
Yeah. If you want to, but to be clear, listener, if you want to test it out and then email us and let us know.
And like, who knows? Maybe he'll end up in the Discord. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. And also
rowdy.
very important, if you do, yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have a whole new channel added that's like sex position legit, or like what's the sex scene logistics
IRL.
question mark?
Yeah.
Yes. We'll make Anyway, afterwards they do start cooking again and it's super cute, and she basically tells, like, he gives her the whole story about the drug situation, and she tells him that you can't ever take drugs again. If we're going to be together. And he's like, I never will.
He says that's a really good incentive.
Mm-hmm.
Not even that I needed
almost tells him that the other thing holding her back is that she really wants kids. And he has stated explicitly that he never wants to have children.
That was the first conversation in the whole book.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was trying to explain why a child's pose was easier for children.
Yep.
And she says, do you have kids? And he's like, no, and I never fucking will.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So they decide
that was
to...
before her.
Yeah.
You know, he also thought he loved being a loner.
Exactly. Things change.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is that, like, he didn't change because of her, right?
No.
He had no idea that this was a thing. And he's already been like, I can understand why my teammates want to go home to their wives and children and have homes with yards, and I get it.
Yeah. So
they also, the other agreement is that they're going to be a little secretive. She doesn't want this to affect work. She doesn't want it to be super out there and
not
like,
secretive,
people
but they
can
need to
know.
be subtle.
Yeah, exactly. And then they blow that out the fucking water.
Oh my
the next
God.
morning.
Then they just make out in front of Nate and Lauren.
In a bakery. You're trying to be subtle and you're going to play tonsil hockey in the fucking bakery most local to the fucking arena?
Just get off of their nuts, Sabrina, okay? So anyway.
Whimsy.
Well, and he's like, hey, I'm sorry, that was my fault. But like, let's go over and say hi. We shouldn't look guilty about it. And she's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get over there, Queen Lauren, bitch Lauren, book 3.
Oh my God. I think you're going to like that book. Because it's with the goalie Beacon.
I'm already obsessed with them because he's the ultimate fuck up. Like, it's also a second chance.
Do you know anything about the book?
All I know is that he got married to his high school sweetheart. They had a kid. Then in the middle of their marriage, they thought they were going to get divorced because they were both in love with other people. I'm pretty sure the other person he was in love with was Lauren. But then she got a big cancer. And he didn't want to leave her anymore. And so then he spent a year like taking care of her while she died. And now he has a 13-year-old daughter.
You're going to fucking love that book.
I'm really excited about it.
And then Nate, because he doesn't have an issue with his people dating, because he's like, I expect my people to work hard, long hours. If they're not going to fucking meet somebody at work, where the fuck are they going to meet them?
Right.
So, and on top of that, I want my people to be really, which like, your job shouldn't be your life, Nate. But also, your I want people who are good at making strong relationships.
Mm.
And so, like, obviously that's going to sometimes lead to people ending up together.
Mm-hmm.
And then zippy zappy, we're in the epilogue. And the most important thing in the epilogue is that she finally tells him
that she wants kids, or she thinks about it sometimes, she manages to say.
And he's like, me too.
Yeah, okay. He says, next time you think about it, I want to hear. You're not going to scare me away. And she's like, are you sure?
Is there any sexier phrase in the English language than you're not going to scare me off or scare me away?
I don't know. Sometimes it makes me more nervous, though, because I'm like, still shouldn't get comfortable. Because, like, if anybody is going to scare a partner away, it's going to be me. He thinks, she thinks, they think I can't scare him away.
It's going to be one half of this podcast.
Hold my fucking beer.
But to be clear, it's both halves of this podcast, but it's going to be at least one of us. Like, yeah. And the end. Amazing.
End.
What a fucking good book.
God, start to finish on every level, this book was so good.
Well, and also there's not I'll put it this way. Sometimes there are chapters in books where I have like one line of what happened in there, but I never skip a chapter. But there are very few chapters in here because all of my notes are broken up by chapter. And sometimes it's just a line about something that happened. And then it'll say, quote, blah, 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 and describe what the quote is. So if I even need, because there's a lot of shit that I skip because you motored past it and I was like, we're fucking motoring. But I had it there just in case. And there's very little in this book where it's a jam-packed 324 pages.
There is nothing unnecessary in this book.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the one scene,
9,000, the check thing.
Okay, all right.
You even commented on that. I forgot that doesn't come back later.
Yeah, I still don't understand what happened there, but we can deduce. Yeah. And then the only other thing is, because I didn't read the University series, I was like, I don't know that we need to meet this bitch in Chicago, but now I get why.
Ooh, Hartley?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
you love that. That was fan service.
That's a callback. That's a callback for us.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, love it.
And I didn't not enjoy it. It still served a purpose for this plot too, because it talked about, it was a way to show how much of a loner he is and how foreign he thinks all of these things are. So it still served a purpose. This book was so good. God damn it.
Mm-hmm. Delightful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm also a Sarina Bowen fangirl, so.
Yeah. All right, Sabrina, what's your lady love?
My lady love, hilariously, is rereads. I forgot how much I enjoy a reread, and knowing what's coming and what's happened and all of these things. And I'm actually really excited because we have another reread on this reading list for
Any Duchess will do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I've read all of Tessa Dare. And I'm excited about that. I'm also very excited about the fact that because they're rereads, I did not feel obligated to read the entire series leading up to any of these books. Because Any Duchess Will Do is book 4, and this is book 2. And knowing me, I would have realized that this series was in fact affected by a past series.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have I would have spiraled, and then I would have been 19 books in, and it would have been a whole thing. But I really as much as I am on record as not being a rereader, sometimes it's just really nice to go back and revisit an old friend.
Sometimes it's a comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's yours?
Right. Mine is the current and newest season of The Bachelor. All right?
Okay.
A lot of people know I am a longtime fan of the series, but I am also not immune to all of the problems there have been with the franchise as a whole in especially recent years. But I'm telling you right now, the Golden Bachelor just happened, and that was one of the feel-goodiest, awesome experiences. And it was pretty clear that there had been major shakeups in the on-site production team because they were they were portraying and like treating the contestants a lot differently. We were all hoping that was going to continue for the regular show. Bachelor in Paradise, unfortunately, I think might be a lost cause, and it might also get canceled. We don't know. But this new group of producers is very obviously on the most recent and current season of The Bachelor, season 28, with Joey Girashmo. He is a dreamboat, and so far the contestants are incredibly interesting on the whole. Like even some of the camera angles are different and fresher. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's been brought into 2024 instead of being like the show that was sticking to what it was like in the aughts. So if you have been not feeling The Bachelor for any kind of reason, I think this would be the time to dip a toe back in if you wanted to. Also, the previous season of The Bachelorette, Charity Lawson's season, was perfection from start to finish. She is one of, I think, the most iconic bachelorettes that we've ever seen. The finale, I actually cried. I usually don't get really emotionally impacted, but like both her saying goodbye to Joey and the proposal from her current fiance Dotun was like beautiful. Okay. So I think The Bachelor might be a new show now. I think it might be a similar format, but a brand new show. And that's all I'm saying about that, if you're interested. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Keeping a badass.
And love yourself as much as you love sticking your dick in a coffee maker.
Get it? Leaving your dick in a coffee maker. All right. Oh, no. Bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening. Next week, we'll be back with our re-release of Bull Moon Rising by Ruby Dixon. Heaving Bosoms is produced by us, Melody Carlisle and Sabrina Bradley. Editing is done by me, Melody Carlisle. Our theme music is by the incredible singer-songwriter Brittany Fonts, and our art is by the ultra-talented author Kate Pryor. If you like our show, remember to follow us on your favorite podcast app, rate us 5 stars, and leave a review. That one small action is a huge way to help the show. If you want to get in touch with us for advertising inquiries or anything else, you can email us at heavingbosomespodcast@gmail.com. If you want more of us, visit patreon.com/heavingbosomspodcast. You can also find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, on TikTok at Heaving_Bosoms, and in our Facebook group, the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. See you next week.